A local car rental company charges a weekly rate of $250 with 2,000 free miles. Each additional mile is $1.30. In Part A, we're asked to write the piecewise function for calculating the rental car charge based on total miles driven. In Part B, we're asked if we drove 2,300 miles in 1 week, how much will the rental car cost? The rental car cost would be in dollars. Okay, so we are going to start by coming up with a function to calculate the rental car charge. So the first thing we have to determine is what x will be. So in part A, it says write the piecewise function for calculating the rental car charge based on total miles driven. Well, since f is a function of x has to be what the function is based on, or what the calculation is based on, right? So the total miles driven is going to be x. Okay. What else? Well, we see that we pay $250 to start off with, right? And as long as we stay below 2001 miles, so anywhere from no miles driven to a maximum of 2,000 miles driven, then we have to pay only $250. However, if our total number of miles goes above 2,000, then our charge is going to be different. And it will start at the 250 for those first 2,000 miles. And then we're going to be charged for each additional mile $1.30. So I'm going to have to add on a charge of 1.3 times the total number of miles driven minus 2,000. Now, how did I know that I had to do it like that? Because we already paid for 2,000 miles, right? So when we calculate this part, the 2,000 miles is already accounted for there. We don't want to be paying for them again here. So we're taking off the 2,000 from the total number of miles driven. And then when we do the next part of it, it'll probably help us understand it a little better. Okay, so 250 plus 1.3 times x minus 2,000. Right, the next part says if you drove 2,300 miles, how much will the rental car cost? Right, so in other words, we're taking our function f of x and we're plugging in 2,300 for the total miles driven, which means that x is greater than 2,000. So we will want to use that second equation, 250 plus 1.3 times the total number of miles, which is x, minus 2,000. So notice how this simplifies. We have $250 plus simplified 2,300 minus 2,000 is that we're getting charged $1.30 for each of the 300 extra miles, right? So then 1.3 times 300 gives a syntax error. I must have typed something into my calculator wrong. 1.3 times 300 equals 390. And then adding the 250 onto the 390 gives 640 as the final answer. $640 for that last part. So the dollar sign's already there. I think all you have to do is type in 640.